next guest says gold will continue to be a good buy as investors should build up their positions on platinum as well. Dominic Schnider is Global Head of Commodity Research at UBS Wealth Management. He joins us from Singapore. Dominic, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
I mean, Dominic, you obviously heard Caroline there. Some of those forecasts from the analyst community. I mean, Standard Chartered 5,000 by 2020. Is it feasible?
Well, 2020 is really far out into the future, and to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen down there in 2020. I think in the short run, the story remains compelling, and I think some of the factors that was mentioned before are really valid, and that really suggests that prices towards $2,000 an ounce are highly likely in the short term. What's going to happen over the next 5 years, I don't know. The only thing what you need to keep in mind, once real interest rate, which at the moment is in negative territory, so you're not getting adequately rewarded for the loss in purchasing power. Once this turns positive, obviously that's going to break the neck, as we have seen it in the 80s. So I would be cautious with calling $5,000 an ounce, but in the short term, 2,000, highly likely.
Dominic, I mean, you've kept your 12-month forecast unchanged at $1,800. So what's it going to take for you to shift it to $2,000?
What we need, especially from our U.S. economists, we need to see here QE3 coming. So far, we're not calling for a QE3. Once we get here an indication that we're going to, again, use the printing press, I think then the chances are very good we're going to see the $2,000 an ounce. But this is one of the preconditions.
Dominic, gold isn't your only speciality. You talk about the whole gamut, so let's get on to it, because platinum this year, spot platinum, it's up 4%, but you're saying there's time, and it is time, to build up your positions in platinum. Why is that?
Well, if you look at the precious metal and you think about what are the best fundamentals, where do I get a metal where, we're trading close to production cost, marginal production cost, then you really find it in platinum. If you look at some high-cost producers in South Africa, they have production costs around $1,750 an ounce. And that really gives you a good idea that the downside is really strongly protected. That's one factor. The other factor to consider is that it's, trading at parity with gold. And I think we also have to keep in mind that the platinum market is really just a fraction of the gold market. So you're not going to see platinum prices really falling below gold. So the downside is protected by gold. And let's say if the economy would turn out really much better than at the moment a lot of people expect, then you would have this industrial application which really would call for a higher platinum-gold ratio. So if you ask me risk-reward, platinum definitely has a better characteristic than gold.
Dominic, the base metals are down this year. I was looking this morning, lead 7%, copper 7%, zinc 10%, nickel down 11%. Is there money to be made here?
Well, in the short term, I would be rather cautious. I think the growth uncertainty is likely to persist. I mean, the credit rating downgrade, that what we saw so far was the first round. Now, the second round is to look at what's going to happen to the savings rate in the U.S. and some developed countries. If this one is going to go up, then obviously you're going to see a further deceleration in activity. And also you should keep in mind that export growth from emerging Asia, for example, has been quite strong. And if something would happen there, that this one slows quite heavily, I think, markets would be a little bit concerned towards a cyclical commodity, so we'll be very cautious to hold here broad exposure. I think the two metals that we like at the moment still is copper, because we have a good supply story, and I also think on the nickel side we have seen some disappointment on the supply side. Price inventories have come down. I think that's also something you could hold on in the short run.
Dominic, thanks a lot. Speak to you soon. Dominic Schnider there from UBS Wealth Management.